everybody. Guys, I'm so excited today to know that we are on session number 5, wherein we've been talking about from session number 1 to session number 4 the authority that we have as human beings because of our bodies, and I urge you to go listen to it. Now today on session number 5, we're going to be talking about the authority that we have in 3 dimensions, okay, or in 3 realms, or in 3 areas, whichever way that suits you. Okay, now remember we said you are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in the body. And let's actually read it from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 23. Now may the God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit, now note the word whole, may your whole spirit and soul and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. So it means you are whole when we say you have a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in the body. The 3 make you complete. Okay, now that's important to note. And also note the order. You are not a body who has a soul and lives in a spirit. No, you are a spirit, you possess a soul, and you live in the body. Now one important thing to note is that everything that starts with you starts from your spirit. So the state of your spirit, and you understand why we're saying this when we get down with the notes, but the state of your spirit, okay, determines the outcome that we see on the natural. And now, for example, when I say everything starts in the spirit, let's look at John chapter 1 verse 1. What does it say? In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So meaning God, before he took on the flesh, he existed in the spirit. Okay, John 4:23 says God is the spirit. We also read in Jeremiah chapter 1, for example, where God said to Jeremiah, I knew you before you were born. And then he said, I set you apart. How did he know him? How did he set him apart if he was not on planet Earth yet? He knew him in the spirit realm. Ephesians 1 verse 4, which says, for God had predestined us before the foundations of the world. Right? So how can he predestine us before the foundations of the world if we are not yet born on planet Earth? It means we existed, and note that we existed in the mind of God before we took on the body. We were there in his mind. So that's what I'm saying. Everything starts in the spirit. Okay, now which means for you to have access or permission to operate in the spirit realm, in the spirit world, you need a spirit body. You need a spirit body, which the Bible in 1 Thessalonians 5:23 has made it clear that may your whole spirit and soul and body be kept blameless. Okay, so you need a spirit body to operate in the spirit world. And now it's so important to understand this, because in the spirit world, guys, all the spirit beings are active, so active there, regardless if this is the demonic spirits, regardless if these are the angels of God, regardless if this is God, Jesus. There in the spirit realm, every spirit body is active, and it's very much active there. Why? Because the spiritual body is a permission or a license to function in the spirit realm. Do you catch that? A spirit body. The same word that we said in the previous sessions, that your natural body is your permission to function on planet Earth. Now the spirit body is your permission to function in the spirit. Now, when God created man in the beginning, if you look at Genesis 1:26, the intention was so that man can have dominion in all these 3 worlds. In the spirit world, in the soul world, and in the physical world. Okay, and I know this might be new to some of us, but I mean, think about it. If I'm saying I'm going to come see you today in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, do you think I will only bring my body and leave my spirit in my bedroom? No. Wherever I am, my spirit is there. Wherever I am, my soul is there. Wherever my body is, my spirit and my soul is there. You cannot divorce the 3. Okay, so when God created man, he created man to have dominion in all 3 spheres of his life, spirit, soul, and body. Now, this is why now we come to a very critical point of why do you think the devil had to deceive men in the Garden of Eden? Why didn't just the devil bring all the chaos on planet Earth, bring sickness, disease, bring sin, and say, ta-da, I'm bringing this sin, I'm bringing all this chaos, you like it or not? But why did he have to first deceive man? It was because man had dominion from the beginning in the spirit realm, in the soul realm, and on the physical, natural realm. So the devil is not permitted to operate on planet Earth because he does not have what? Flesh and blood. Okay, go listen to the previous session, more especially session 1, and you'll understand that. So the devil had to first deceive man so that man can submit to him by disobeying God. And then when man does that, then the devil could dominate man. Because remember, if you look at the word dominate, when the Bible said, let us create men who will have dominion over the earth, the word dominion there can also mean to prevail. If you check it up in the Strong's Concordance, it means to prevail against. You know, it's to have control against something. So when man fell to the trap of the devil, which you might want to call the fall of man, the devil could then dominate man, or he could then control man. He could control his thoughts, and men, I'm referring to men and women, okay? I'm not only referring to Adam, okay? I'm not coming with patriarchy here, okay? But when the fall of man took place, the devil could now control the thoughts of man. He could now control the speech of man. He could now control the actions and the behavior of mankind or human beings, okay? Which meant now that man had taken on the nature of the devil because he disobeyed God, meaning he forsook God. By Adam disobeying God, he left the place where God had created him to be, which is the fellowship with God, and the Spirit of God left the spirit of man, okay, left the spirit of man, and man just continued to exist without God in his spirit. As a result, man died spiritually. Go listen to the session, Why Salvation. You will understand what we mean by spiritual death. Okay, now, as a result of that, Jesus Christ in John 3:16 was given, for God so loved the world which has fallen, and he gave his son Jesus Christ so that whoever believes in him might not perish but have everlasting life. What does that mean? Why did God do that? God brought Jesus so that when we believe in him, whoever believes in the finished work of Jesus can be restored back to the state of dominion in all three realms, can be brought back to the state of authority and dominion which God had intended man to be initially. You catch that? So, this means then now, when I receive Jesus, I am now born of God. 1 John chapter 5 verse 4 says, whoever is born of God overcomes the world. So it means when I accept Jesus in my spirit, and this is important to note, when I accept Jesus in my spirit, what's happening? I am born of God in my spirit. So in the same way that you need natural birth so that you can have a natural body which gives you permission to function on planet Earth, you need a spiritual birth, which is salvation, which gives you the dominion or reinstates your spirit to the dominion which God has initially intended for man, for you to be in, where you now have rulership over the devil in the spiritual realm, rulership over your thoughts, because the soul is the mind, the will, the emotions, and all the other things that you can name, which are part of the mind, you know. So you can have dominion over your mind. Your mind does not control you, and you can have dominion over your body. The lust, the desires of your body do not control you, but you have dominion over them. Okay, now that's spiritual birth, which is salvation, which John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that whoever believes in it shall have everlasting life. And now, as a result of that, you can see what the intention of God was. But guys, you know what? I want us to continue this after the ad break. continue. Now remember, I said just before the ad break, I said God has restored us to the state of dominion in all the three realms. But before then, in the beginning, I said everything starts in your spirit, which is very important to note. Every single thing about you starts in your spirit, right? So, if you look at Matthew chapter 12, Matthew, Mark, Luke, Matthew chapter 12, where's Matthew chapter 12? Matthew chapter 12, let's read verse 22 and verse 28. I want to clarify this point that everything starts in the spirit. Verse 22. Then a demon-oppressed man, note the word demon-oppressed. He was oppressed of a demon who was blind and mute, was brought to him, to Jesus, and he healed him so that the man spoke and saw. Now, this is very important. Do you see that this man was demon-oppressed, and that demon oppression resulted to him not being able to speak, not being able to see. So, does a demon have flesh and blood? No. But a demon is spiritual in nature. It operates in the spirit realm, which is why now you will understand why I gave an introduction that I gave. So, this man could not speak and could not see because of something that was happening in the spiritual realm. You catch that? So, what does this mean? So now it means a demonic force in the spirit can influence itself in the natural body and causes these things that we see here. A man being blind and mute. Now let's bring this home. Let's bring this home. Let's look at this pandemic that we faced with, the coronavirus that we faced with. The Bible says in John chapter 10 verse 10, it made it clear that the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Steal, kill, and destroy. So if you look at the coronavirus, the COVID-19 that we faced with, it is doing exactly the same. It is stealing families. It is stealing families' time. It is stealing the father from the children. It is stealing the mother from the children. It is killing people's lives, and it is destroying the economies of the world. Okay, and therefore we can really look at First Peter chapter 5 verse 8, which says the devil is roaring around seeking whom he may devour. So in the same way, this COVID-19, the coronavirus that we faced with, it is roaring around seeking a body which it may devour, seeking a body which it may manifest in. You see that? So this is the reason why we are looking at a point or at a topic which says you have authority in 3 dimensions. But let us understand that in these 3 dimensions, the spirit, soul, and body, the critical factor or where everything starts is your spirit, because you were a spirit first. So there is a spiritual world which controls what happens on the natural world, in the natural realm that we can see, touch, and feel. So for example, take for example a lady who's pregnant, expecting a child. Okay, according to this verse, it says a demon-oppressed man who was blind and mute. He has a child born crippled. He has a child born blind. He has a child born without speaking. Okay, and then when this child is born, what do? We look at God and say, no, God is the master of everything. He definitely permitted this child to be born blind. He definitely permitted this child to be born deaf. But according to this verse, it says it was a demon oppression which caused blindness and mute, meaning John 10:10, the devil steals, kills, and destroys. So the demon possessed here, which is the devil, he stole the ability of this man to see and to speak. So in the same way, so it means because we now have authority in all 3 dimensions, here you are, you're expecting this child to come. You need to take authority to say, hey, child, you're not going to be born blind. You're not going to be born disabled. You're not going to be born under all these circumstances, because every good and perfect gift comes from God in James chapter 1 verse 17. Do you see that? But all these other things come from the devil who steals, kills, and destroys. So again, I'm taking it back to the coronavirus that we faced with, that this is a spiritual attack which you and I need to realize where its origin is. Its origin is in the spirit. Because the devil is a spiritual body. He does not have flesh and blood. So he is attacking humankind in the spirit, and it's reflecting in the natural bodies of mankind. Just like here in Matthew chapter 12 verse 22, where this man was oppressed by a demon. A demon is spiritual, but it manifested itself in the natural. Now, we're going to take this further. Let me leave it here. We're going to take this further in session 6 and all the other sessions going forward. But I believe this is helping you. And I just want to say to you, take time to subscribe and like this channel. And also go to our website, www.letworshiparise.co.za. Go under downloads and download the notes, the practical guides, and MP3s. And be blessed.